Prince Albert I of Monaco was, in his time, a great oceanographer and a supporter of the nascent oceanography as science. He had a ship called yacht called Hirondelle that he used for expeditions in the Mediterranean elsewhere, and he also had built an enormous institute in Monaco, and also a house in Paris that served as an annex. And among the various things that were done to honor this legacy, an Albert I Medal in Oceanography was created. I don't remember, by the Albert I Foundation, and it has a long tradition of giving, of honoring people who have contributed to oceanography, especially French, but also others. And in 2016, I was the awardee, and I was there and was very proud of receiving the medal. And it is a large bronze medal, which is encased in a beautiful set. And it was nice, and I was very proud to get it because of the people who have received it and the tradition that it represents. The ceremony was centered around, well, 4 people. The first 2 were the one in the award in science, the medal in science, and they have created a second one for media, for outreach, and this was received by a French, a member of the Académie Française, Eric Orsena, who is quite famous in France for his writing about the sea, and notably about the Gulf Stream. And he was there, and this is the first time I met a member of the French Academy, or the Académie Française. It was very nice, and the other 2 people were last year's and this year's winner of a thesis prize. One was a young woman who had developed an economic model for fisheries that she applied to French and Australian fisheries, and another one was a young man a young French who is now working at Woods Hole in Massachusetts, in the USA, who works on black smokers in the deep sea, and who established the various parameters that allow you to estimate how much black smoke they produce, how much heat they produce, and they feed into the ocean. And this work was really astounding. The conference that took place one day later, organized by Pew and Albert I Foundation, was actually a panel discussion where each of the panelists, presented about 5 to 10 minutes points, and the people who were represented there are many of them are major figures in French politics. I kind of framed the discussion in my panel. There were 2 panels. Framed the discussion in that I presented the major trend in fisheries, that is expansion and declining catches, because these are the constraints, or the things that ought to be repaired, and these are trends that some of the speakers picked up, but they have a rough time with these trends, because many of the initiatives that are proposed to deal with this don't really deal with it, and so I like to be at the beginning of such discussion and frame them because you can then have a measure of the relevance of the various interventions.